Imagine a land of lush green jungles, a place where rivers wind like silver serpents. This is ancient Southeast Asia, the land we now call Thailand. Long before the grand palaces of Bangkok, powerful kingdoms rose and fell. And in these early kingdoms, a story began. It was a story written not in books, but in gold. The people of these lands, like the Funan and Dvaravati kingdoms, understood the power of this shining metal. It was rare, it was beautiful, and it did not rust or fade away. It was a piece of the sun, held in your hand. Gold was not just for pretty jewelry. It was a symbol of something more, of power, of divinity. Kings and rulers would gather it. They used it to show their connection to the heavens. It was a way to say, I am chosen. Early on, they didn't have round, flat coins like we do. Instead, they used small, marked pieces of gold and silver. These were the first whispers of a currency, a simple way for merchants to trade goods over long distances. It was a language of value that everyone, from a local farmer to a foreign sailor, could understand. These early forms of money were often inspired by nature. They might be shaped like a shell, a seed, or a tiny animal. The markings on them were simple, but important. They were stamps of authority, a sign that a powerful ruler guaranteed their worth. This wasn't just metal, it was a promise backed by the might of a king. This idea that a piece of metal could carry so much meaning and trust was a powerful one. It would become the foundation for all the coins that followed. And so, the journey of Thai gold began. It started not as money for the common person, but as treasure for the elite. It was a tool for kings, a medium for long-distance traders, and a sacred offering to the gods. This precious metal flowed through the veins of the early kingdoms. It connected them to their neighbors, from India to China. It laid the groundwork for a rich and complex story. A story of faith, power, and wealth, all captured in the timeless glow of gold. As kingdoms grew stronger, a new and unique form of money appeared. It was unlike anything seen in Europe or the Middle East. We call it pod duong, which means coiling worm in Thai, but to Western eyes it looked like something else. It looked like a musket ball, or a bullet. And so, it became known as the bullet coin. These weren't flat discs. They were solid little lumps of silver, and sometimes, precious gold. They were made by taking a bar of metal, bending it into a C shape, and hammering the ends together. The creation of each bullet coin was an art form. Royal artisans would carefully measure the metal. The weight had to be exact. Once the shape was formed, it was time for the most important part. The coin would be stamped with special marks. One mark was the symbol of the kingdom. This was often the chakra, a wheel-like symbol representing the Hindu god Vishnu. The other mark was the personal emblem of the reigning king. This could be an elephant, a conch shell, or a mythical creature. These stamps were the king's signature. Why this strange shape? We believe it was practical. A round, flat coin could roll away and get lost easily. But these chunky little bullet coins were stable. They could be stored in cloth bags without much trouble. They were easy to handle and count. For centuries, from the Sukhothai kingdom around the 13th century all the way to the 19th century, this was the money of Siam. It was used for everything, from buying food in the market to paying soldiers in the army. So when you hold a pod duong, you are not just holding a piece of metal. You are holding a piece of history that has been folded and hammered into shape. It is a testament to Thai ingenuity, a unique solution to the universal problem of money. It connected the farmer to the king, the merchant to the soldier. It was the lifeblood of the Siamese economy for over 600 years, a silent witness to the rise and fall of dynasties, all in its curious, coiled form. The marks stamped on a Thai gold coin were never just decoration, they were a language, a code that told a story of power, belief, and identity. Each symbol was chosen with great care. It broadcast a message to everyone who held it. The most common kingdom mark was the chakra. This was the divine discus weapon of the god Vishnu. By stamping this on the nation's money, the king was making a profound statement. He was linking his rule to the cosmic order of the universe. He was a righteous ruler, a protector of his people, just as Vishnu was a protector of the world. The second stamp was more personal. It was the emblem of the king himself. This crest changed with every new monarch. For the kings of the Ayutthaya period, you might find Media Group, Ayutthaya era gold coin with conch shell symbol, close-up of conch shell emblem on Thai coiny stock, distribute equally, a conch shell, another symbol of Vishnu, or perhaps a beautiful kroot, the Garuda. a mythical bird man who served as Vishnu's mount. These weren't just random pictures, they were powerful symbols from Hindu and Buddhist beliefs. They reinforced the idea of the Devaraja, or the God King. The king was not just a man, he was a divine presence on earth. Imagine being a merchant in the 17th century. You receive a gold bullet coin, you look closely at the stamps, you see the chakra, the sign of the kingdom, and next to it you see an elephant. You would know instantly that this coin was made during the reign of a specific king. The symbols were a form of quality control and a historical record all in one. They guaranteed the coin's weight and purity. They also told you who was in power when it was made. This fusion of religion and royalty on a tiny piece of gold was the bedrock of Siamese society. It reminded everyone, every single day, of the structure of their world. The king's power came from a divine source. The kingdom was protected by cosmic forces, and the money you used for your daily bread was a sacred object, a tangible link to that power. The coin in your hand wasn't just wealth. It was a constant, silent sermon about faith, order, and the king's rightful place at the center of it all. Thailand, or Siam as it was known, has always been a crossroads. It sits at the heart of Southeast Asia, a natural meeting point for traders from the east and the west, and gold coins were the perfect companions for these long and dangerous journeys. They were small, easy to carry, and universally valued. A Chinese merchant might not want Siamese pottery, but he would always accept Siamese gold. An Indian trader might not need Siamese spices, but he would gladly take a bag of bullet coins. Gold spoke a language that everyone understood. During the Ayutthaya kingdom, from the 14th to the 18th centuries, the port cities were bustling with activity. Ships arrived from China, Japan, India, Persia, and even distant Europe. These foreign traders brought their own coins, but the Siamese pod duong held its own. Its purity was trusted. Royal officers would carefully weigh and inspect foreign coins, melting them down and recasting them into the familiar bullet shape. This was a way of absorbing foreign wealth and stamping it with the authority of the Siamese king. The flow of gold was not just about buying and selling goods, it was also about diplomacy. When a Siamese king sent envoys to the court of a foreign ruler, like Louis XIV of France, they did not go empty-handed. They carried lavish gifts, and among them would be ceremonial gold coins. These were not for spending, they were a display of wealth and sophistication, a way of saying our kingdom is as grand and as prosperous as yours. These coins were ambassadors silently telling a story of Siamese power. The presence of foreign traders and their money also had an influence on Siam. Over time, the kingdom began to see the need for a more standardized modern currency. The bullet coin had served them well for centuries, but as global trade became more complex, the idea of a flat, machine-made coin became more appealing. The winds of trade that brought so much gold into Siam also brought new ideas that would eventually lead to the biggest change in the history of Thai coinage. The 18th century brought disaster. A devastating war with Burma led to the complete destruction of the grand capital, Ayutthaya, in 1767. The kingdom shattered, but from the ashes, a new leader, King Taksin, emerged. He reunited the nation and established a new capital. This was followed by the founding of the Chakri dynasty, the royal family that rules Thailand to this day. With a new dynasty and a new capital in Bangkok came a new chapter for the nation's money. The pod duong continued. But change was on the horizon. The kings of the new Ratanakosin era, like King Rama I and Rama II, continued the tradition. They minted silver and gold bullet coins, stamping them with the chakra of the kingdom and their own personal emblems. For Rama I, it was a simplified, unadorned chakra. For Rama II, it was the mythical Krut, the Garuda. These coins symbolized a continuation of the old glory of Ayutthaya. They were a message of stability, a promise that the new kingdom was built on the strong foundations of the past. But the world was changing fast. In the 19th century, during the reign of King Mongkut, Rama IV, the pressure from Western powers was immense. King Mongkut was a brilliant scholar and modernizer. He knew that for Siam to remain independent, it had to adapt. It had to speak the language of the modern world, and that included its money. The charming handmade bullet coin looked ancient next to the machine-struck coins of Britain and France. It was time for a revolution. King Mongkut made a historic decision. He ordered the construction of Siam's first modern mint. In 1860, the country began producing its first flat, round coins, just like those used in Europe. This was a monumental shift. It marked the end of a 600-year-old tradition. The bullet coin, the pod duong, was slowly phased out. The new coins were a powerful symbol of Siam's entry into the modern world. They were a declaration that Siam was a nation of the future, not just a relic of the past. War is a time of fear and uncertainty. When armies march and cities burn, people do whatever they can to protect their families and their wealth. You know, for centuries in Siam, the most reliable form of wealth was gold. It was small, durable, and easy to hide. During times of conflict, families would gather their life savings, often in the form of gold bullet coins, and bury them. They would place them in earthenware jars and hide them in the ground, under the floor of their house, or in the hollow of a tree. They did this with the desperate hope that they would one day return. They would come back when peace was restored, dig up their treasure, and start their lives over. But war is cruel. Many never made it back. They were killed in battle, taken as prisoners, or forced to flee, and could never find their way home. Their hidden hoards of gold were left behind. They became sleeping treasures, waiting silently beneath the soil for centuries. The earth kept their secret safe. One of the most significant events that led to these hidden hoards was the fall of Ayutthaya in 1767. The city was one of the grandest in the world. It was a center of immense wealth. When the Burmese army laid siege to the capital, its citizens buried countless treasures. They hid their gold coins, their jewelry, and their precious statues. When the city was finally sacked and burned, these hoards were lost. The locations were forgotten as the survivors scattered across the land. Even today, these lost treasures resurface. A farmer plowing his field might strike something hard. A construction crew digging the foundation for a new building might unearth an ancient jar. Inside, they find a treasure trove of gold pod duong, untouched for hundreds of years. Each discovery is a direct link to that time of turmoil. It is a ghost story told in gold. A sad, beautiful reminder of the lives that were upended by war, and the desperate hope of a return that never came. The arrival of the flat coin was more than just a change in shape. It was a change in philosophy. The old bullet coins carried symbols of divine power, the chakra, the krut. They represented a cosmic order. But the new coins, introduced by King Mongkut and his son, King Chulalongkorn, also known as Rama V, introduced something radically new. For the first time, the coins of Siam featured a portrait. The face of the king himself was now on the money. This was a practice borrowed from the West, and it carried a powerful, new message. This shift was revolutionary. It moved the basis of royal authority from the purely divine to the personal and national. The king was no longer just a god king, represented by mythical symbols. He was also the head of state, the face of the nation. His portrait on the coin created a direct personal link between the ruler and his people. Every person, rich or poor, would carry the king's image with them. It fostered a new sense of national identity, centered on the monarch. King Chulalongkorn, in particular, used coinage as a tool of his modernizing reforms. He abolished slavery, reformed the government, and built railways and schools. The gold coins, minted during his reign, are considered some of the most beautiful in Thai history. They show his portrait on one side, and the magnificent new coat of arms of Siam on the other. This coat of arms included symbols of the different regions of his kingdom, representing a unified modern nation-state. These new gold coins were also minted to international standards. This made trade with other countries much easier. It showed the world that Siam was a civilized, modern, and sovereign nation, an equal on the world stage. It was a brilliant move of political communication. By changing the money, King Chulalongkorn changed how his people saw their king and how the world saw his kingdom. The face on the coin was the face of a new Siam, looking confidently toward the future. Every old coin tells a story, but some stories are grander than others. They become legends. In Thailand, a country with a long and dramatic history, there are many legends of lost treasure. These are tales of sunken ships, hidden temple vaults, and forgotten royal caches. One of the most enduring legends is connected to the fall of Ayutthaya. It is said that before the city fell, the royal family loaded a great treasure of gold, including countless ceremonial gold coins, onto a barge to be sent to a safe location. But the barge sank in the river, and the treasure has never been found. This tale, and others like it, has fueled the imaginations of treasure hunters for generations. They dream of finding that one spectacular hoard. And sometimes, dreams come true. In 1957, a group of workers were clearing an old abandoned temple in Bangkok. As they moved a massive plaster Buddha statue, the ropes broke. The statue fell and a piece of the plaster chipped off. Underneath, something glittered. To their astonishment, the entire statue was made of solid gold. It is now known as the Golden Buddha of Wat Tramet, the largest solid gold statue in the world. While not a hoard of coins, this discovery proved that the legends of vast hidden treasures were not just fantasy. It showed that incredible wealth from the Ayutthaya era had been successfully hidden and forgotten. This gives hope to those who search for lost coins. Discoveries are still being made. In places along old trade routes or near ancient battlefields, small hordes of pod duang are occasionally found. Each one is a miniature time capsule, a message from the past. These stories of lost and found gold are woven into the cultural fabric of Thailand. They speak to a history filled with both immense prosperity and sudden disaster. They remind people of the impermanence of fortune, but they also spark a sense of wonder and adventure. The idea that a king's ransom in gold coins could still be lying just beneath the surface, waiting for a lucky finder, is a powerful and exciting thought. It keeps the history of these glittering objects alive and thrilling. Today, in the bustling markets and modern shopping malls of Thailand, you won't use a gold bullet coin to buy your lunch. The daily currency is the baht, made of paper and modern alloys. Yet the story of Thai gold coins is far from over. Their role has simply changed. They have transformed from tools of commerce into objects of immense historical and cultural value. They are now seen as treasures, not just because of the gold they contain, but because of the stories they tell. For collectors around the world, ancient Thai gold coins are highly sought after. A rare gold pod duang from a short-reigning Ayutthayan king can be worth a small fortune. A beautifully preserved flat coin bearing the portrait of King Chulalongkorn is a prized possession. Numismatists, people who study coins, cherish them for their unique shapes, their intricate symbols, and their connection to a fascinating history. These coins are artifacts that allow us to hold a piece of the Siamese past in the palm of our hand. The Thai government and royal family also recognize the importance of this heritage. The Royal Thai Mint continues to issue special commemorative gold coins. These are not for circulation. They are made for collectors and to mark important national events like a king's jubilee or a significant anniversary. These modern gold coins carry on the tradition. They link the present to the past, using the timeless language of gold to celebrate Thai identity and history. They are a nod to the pod duang and the royal portraits that came before. So, the glittering saga of Thai gold coins continues. From the first simple pieces used by ancient kingdoms, to the curious bullet coins of Ayutthaya, to the modern portraits of the Chakri kings, these objects have been silent witnesses to the journey of a nation. They are symbols of faith, emblems of power, and engines of trade. Today, they glow with a different kind of value, the value of memory, of culture, and of a story beautifully told in the world's most cherished metal.